will be on our starboard side. We're not there yet, but good time to be looking for them because we are soon going to be entering to our inlet, and at that mouth we typically see big groups of sea otters. Could be on either side, but this group's out on the right or starboard side. Sea otters are the most common animals to see in Glacier Bay. You're practically guaranteed to see at least one of them if you're looking for them.
There's plenty of wildlife.
The otters have the densest fur of any mammal, up to 1 million hairs per square inch, because they're the only marine mammals that don't have blubber and they need to stay warm in the cold ocean water. This fur was highly prized by humans for its warmth and softness. If you wanted a chance to pet a sea otter fur without the biting mouth of the sea otter, you could go to the ranger desk in the Commodore Club, deck 10 forward, to pet a sample of sea otter fur and talk to Ranger Corinne about it. Between the 1700s and early 1900s, that fur was their downfall. They were hunted relentlessly in the international fur trade until there were none left in Southeast Alaska and only 2,000 left in the rest of the world. In 1911, the Northern Pacific Fur Seal Treaty stopped their hunting, and in the mid-1960s, about 400 sea otters were reintroduced to 6 sites along the outer coast of Southeast Alaska. Around 1990, the first otters were starting to make their way into Glacier Bay. Since then, otters have been gradually making their way into the bay, and their population has rebounded. Now Glacier Bay is the only place in Southeast Alaska where they aren't harvested, and we have the highest density of sea otters in the world. There are 6,000 to 10,000 of them in Glacier Bay, and 23,000 or 25,000 in Southeast Alaska. When they first got here, they were able to gorge on sea urchins, their favorite food, which had been safe from sea otters for generations. But as the otter population has increased, there are fewer urchins, and the ones left have to hide to survive and only eat scraps of kelp instead of live kelp, which is a type of seaweed. This is good for the ecosystem because the kelp is vital habitat for many invertebrates, fish, and sea ducks, and protects the shore from big waves. Kelp also absorbs a lot of carbon dioxide, so sea otters are climate change reduction heroes by eating their predators, the sea urchins. And of course, otters rely on kelp to keep their babies safe and to rest without floating away. They may look cute and cuddly, but sea otters can crack open prickly sea urchins and tough clams with their strong teeth, so they can defend themselves well. Your mind is not to underestimate anyone just because they look cute and harmless.
From the Monterey Bay Aquarium.
exposing the beach and covering it with seawater. Many organisms live in the intertidal zone between high and low tide, experiencing extreme change in their environment twice a day. I mentioned earlier that the low tide this afternoon is around 3:30 p.m. and the next high tide will be around 9:40 p.m. Many intertidal animals can protect themselves from drying up at low tide by having hard shells they can close, such as mussels and snails. Others, like worms and fish like sculpins or gunnels, burrow under rocks or mud to stay moist. Low tide can make survival difficult, especially on below freezing winter nights or sunny summer days when the environment feels like another predator. Many land animals feast on the intertidal buffet, so low tide is a good time to look for animals from bears to shorebirds. Humans of all ages enjoy taking a glimpse into this alien world by tide pulling. We can witness a complete ecosystem in miniature as sea urchins munch on seaweed, barnacles filter feed, and sea stars eat everything. You may be able to see this diverse array at your next port, since dock islands can have a lot of life visible at low tide. The fast-changing tides make travel difficult for kayakers and boaters, since certain areas of the bay can be too shallow to navigate at low tide. It even forces cruise ships to slow down if they're going against a particularly strong tide. Campers also have to be careful to camp high enough on the beach to avoid having their tents inundated by seawater. Not the most